The movie begins with a girl named Rose. She had cuts on her face and was badly hurt. It looked like she had faced a lot of difficulties and someone was asking her questions. He is probably trying to understand how this all happened. Now the scene changes to a few weeks ago, before anything happened with Rose. This means that everything likely began here. At night, we saw Rose's mom cooking in her house. When Rose returns from work, she meets her mom, and both the mother and daughter are very happy. It means that both mothers care deeply for each other because Rose's mom raised her by herself. Rose's dad died when she was young, and she was living by herself. Rose's mom tells her that at the end of this week, they will visit her friend Derek. Even though Rose didn't want to go, her mom persuaded her because she wanted Rose to join her on the trip. That's the reason she said yes. When the day arrived, Rose and her mom got ready and sat in the car to leave. Rose tells her mom again that it hasn't been long since she met that man. Can we trust him? Someone who realizes they are not a good person. Rose's mom says that her son is a really nice person. When you meet him, you'll like what he's like, and any misunderstandings will be resolved. As soon as Rose's mom turns the key to start the car, it doesn't start. When Rose says, "Look, Mom, this is a sign that we shouldn't take this trip." Her mom jokes about it while she fixes the car, and then these people leave and go to the port. Rose stops the car for a moment while her mom goes to see Derek, who is loading things onto the boat. After some time, Rose's mom was unloading the items from the car. Then Rose sees two men. A man wants to help his mom get the items, but she says, "No, thank you, I can do it myself." Then there's a short conversation between the mother and daughter, and she goes to Derek's boat. The boat's name was Annalisa. Derek was very wealthy, but he claims that I took this boat from someone else and didn't change its name, which is bad luck for a trip. Rose still doesn't trust Derek, but he seems like a nice guy. After getting ready, they began their trip. Rose's mom and Derek had a very caring bond. When Rose goes to her room, she looks at her phone and sees that there is no signal. She became very worried because she believes that I don't love like my mom, who trusts everyone. When she talks to her mom makes her feel better. Rose is feeling excited, so Derek shows her how to ride a small boat. Today was Rose's mom's birthday, and Rose had already brought a cake for her, so she wished her a happy birthday. Derek gives both of them gifts from his side. He gives his mom a shirt and gives Rose a small knife that might be useful in tough situations. Rose liked the gift, but she feels a bit strange about the knife. Gradually, the dislike for Derek starts to fade. The next day, while Rose's mom was taking pictures, a strong wind caused her to fall into the water. Derek, the boat stops, and Rose asks her to hurry down and get a blanket. Rose went downstairs quickly. While searching for a blanket, she noticed some umbrellas, which made her a bit worried. After getting the blanket, she quickly ran to her mother, who had luckily come outside. But Rose blows her a blanket. She says, "I'm sorry, son, but your phone fell with me when I fell." Rose says, "Mom, it's fine. I'm just glad you're okay. I'm worried about your phone." Then a storm started approaching, and both the mother and daughter felt scared. Derek tells them not to worry. It's just a normal situation and the storm will be fine. When it happens like this, they easily escape the storm. The next day, the mother and daughter were having a conversation. Rose's mother says, "I'm sorry, son, I couldn't provide you with a good life." Rose says, "No, Mom, I'm really happy with you. I have no complaints." Then Derek arrived too. Rose asks him about the guns. He says that the weapon is related to my work since I used to be a police officer. I quit my job and now I work as a security guard. That's why they trust him. Rose was somewhat curious about guns, so Derek shows her how to shoot. She is also surprised that Rose is learning really fast. She compliments him. Mom says that Rose's dad served in the army. That might explain why she is so skilled at using guns. Over time, Rose begins to like Derek too. One night while Rose was asleep, she suddenly woke up. When she went to look, another boat was approaching her with 3 people in it, and they had guns. She gets into their boat and starts threatening Derek and his mom with a gun. She asked Derek some questions to learn more about him, but he didn't share anything. That's why, out of anger, a man hit Rose's mom so hard that she fell down. She spots Rose and tells her to hide right away. That's why Rose comes down quickly to get a gun. But before she returns with the gun, they shoot and kill her mom. A bullet struck Derek in the shoulder, causing him to fall into the sea. Rose was very scared. She found a place to hide and sat down. She was holding a gun in her hand that if anyone came down, she would shoot her children and kill them. They looked for something but chose to leave when they couldn't find it. Luckily, they didn't spot Rose, but before leaving, they burned the boat. After a bit, Rose came out, and seeing her mother's body, she fell apart. She also had to extinguish the fire. She put out the fire to save her life, and she succeeded. She cries a lot because her mother passed away. She was all alone, so she couldn't sleep all night. In the morning, as she gets ready, she covers her mother's body with a cloth. The cloth that was waving with the boat and helping it move forward is now totally burned. Rose is confused about what to do because she doesn't know much about the boat. She went down to find the radio to call for help, but sadly, the radio was also totally burned. Rose is now wondering what to do because she is alone in the middle of the sea. Then she sees a rope. When she pulled the rope, Derek was tied to it. He was hurt, but still living because of the bullet. He asks Rose for help while he's in the sea. Then Rose pulls the rope and helps him onto the boat. She kept asking him over and over who killed her mother. Derek says, "I don't know who they are." Rose asks him what to do next since both the radio and the cloth are burned. "I'm not sure what I should do." Derek tells her to place the cloth that is lying there first so our boat will move forward. Rose did this. She put the cloth. The next day, Rose looks into Derek stealing but doesn't trust him. She had some doubts about Derek. Her mistrust grows when she sees old photos of Derek with his wife. His wife's name was Annalicia, which meant Derek had lied about the boat. This was his boat. Derek also had photos of the people who killed Rose's mother. This means that Derek knew them, but he has been lying since the start. After learning all this, Rose considers tying him up. Derek was unconscious, so this was a good chance for her. She uses a rope to tie Derek's hands. After some time, she checked and found that Derek was gone. Rose begins searching for him. When she came downstairs, Derek was there. Rose is holding a knife and asks him to reveal their identity. Derek says it's best if you don't know about this. Derek wasn't scared of Rose, and he didn't feel sad about her mother's death. He holds Rose's attention with his words and begins fixing her boat. Because one of her hands didn't work. Rose had no choice but to listen to him. Derek was the only person who could rescue her from the water. These people also tried to fix the engine, but it didn't work at all. Now all they had was the sea breeze to help them move forward. Rose takes the bracelet from her mother's body and puts it on to remember her. Derek says, "I gave this locket to your mom." But Rose realized he was not telling the truth. The locket belonged to her mother and was very old, but she had only met Derek a few days before. They continued moving for 2 days. One day, Derek gets really mad. He began to speak angrily. The map showed that he was not heading to his goal, but was instead going far away from it. When Rose sees Derek getting angry, she goes to her room and hides. She grabbed a gun to protect herself. When she went outside to check in the morning, Derek was sitting in the corner looking sad. Rose begins to look around and spots an island. She turns the boat towards the island without asking Derek. But they couldn't reach the shore using this boat. They need to get there by raft or small boat. Derek wanted to go to the island too, so he got on the raft first. He needed Rose to help him ride the boat because he couldn't do it with just one hand. But Rose also couldn't trust him. But she had no choice, so she quietly got onto the raft. While she was on the boat, A part of it opened and fell into the water. Because it was Rose's first time. She goes to the sea to get the boat. But she couldn't swim, so she began searching for a boat. She wore a life jacket, too. From the raft, Derek was explaining to her how to take off the life jacket. When she started to go under, Derek jumped into the water and pulled her to safety on the shore. Rose was aware as well. She felt like she couldn't breathe. Derek did CPR and helped her wake up. Derek went to look at the island. After looking after herself, Rose goes to the island's woods. While she was at the cave, Derek got some water to drink. He tells Rose to drink some water. This island was totally empty, so Rose suggests we leave. Derek says we will go tomorrow because it will be night soon. These people brought the raft to the shore, and Rose went to sleep in it, while Derek starts a fire outside. Rose wasn't sleepy, so she sat next to Derek. They both began to talk. Derek begins to share his story with her. He says I was a truthful police officer. I did my job well for 10 years. I didn't receive anything. My situation was getting worse every day. Meanwhile, some people were becoming wealthy. My wife has left me. She believed I had given up because of what happened. I chose to stop doing good things and started doing bad things. I teamed up with the wrong people. I got a lot of money and became rich. The man I used to work with was truly bad, because he did all the bad things about which you can't even think. This includes stealing, robbing, and snatching girls, then illegally transporting and selling them, and many different mistakes. I didn't love your mother, I just liked her. That's why I caught her. She was beautiful and so were you. If she isn't there, then you are, whether it's a woman or a girl. Rose became really angry. Derek says my boss likes pretty girls like you. He used to steal people and sell them. And yes, let's talk about me. I've started liking these bad things again. I used to really enjoy stealing from people. I also took things from my boss. He came to get his money from me that day, when your mother passed away. After hearing all this, Rose got very angry. She hits Derek and knocks him down. Rose pulls a gun from her bag and throws it at Derek, make a threat to take his life. But Derek wasn't scared of him. He mocks him by saying that he can't tie a rope. I am free from where? So what will you kill me? Rose is angry with him. When she presses the trigger, the bullet doesn't fire, because the gun was empty. Derek had an opportunity. He hit him, lets him down. But Rose manages to escape and runs away. Derek got the gun. Rose runs quickly into the woods. Derek says that you now know beyond the limit. That's why you need to end. He grabs the gun and runs after him into the bush. Rose was running while Derek was running behind him. This continued all night. In the morning, Rose decides that she will escape with the raft, but Derek was standing on a high place. He begins firing at Rose. A bullet hits Rose's feet too. Derek also falls from a high place. He didn't die, but he was hurt badly. Rose left him dead and arrived on the raft. Then he quickly gets into the boat. Now, the boat is starting to sink slowly. That's why Rose starts getting rid of things every day. Then she had to leave her mother's body in the ocean, but the boat still sank. Rose had to return in the raft, but she is crying a lot. She was in the sea for 2 days. One day she sees a boat. Using a flare gun, Rose looks at the boat in front of her. They saw the flare light, but they came at night to rescue Rose. They brought her in their boat. They feed her. But those people also had guns. Seeing them, Rose realized that the people who saved her life are not good. She sees a girl who is drunk and being taken away. Rose finds a reason to take a bath and heads to the bathroom. She recognized that these are the same people Derek didn't mention, the girls who bring them in secretly. Then she saw their boat too. This also came on the ship. Which beautiful girls are liked? Rose makes a plan, gets ready, and goes to see Bose. She tries to catch him in her words and trick him. When Bose started talking, Rose hit him with a wrench. She kills him by hitting him hard. After looking, Rose finds more weapons. Now the game has totally changed. Rose arrives at her farm. She was the first girl who seemed innocent. Now she was a killer, someone who shot people. She was killing anyone who came in front of her. So she defeats everyone by being brave and courageous. That was not possible. Then she approaches the girl. Rose saw someone who was drunk. The girl says, "I'm not the only one on this ship. Other girls like me are stuck on this ship." Who these people were stealing and selling? Rose opens a door where all the girls are waiting for him. Who was put in prison? Before Rose could help them. A living friend of Beau's. He comes and points a gun at Rose, but before that he kills Rose. Rose tackles him and shoots him first, and he is dead. When Rose arrived, there was one more person living. It was just Derek. Rose was shocked to see him living. She asks, "You were dead on that island. How are you here then?" "He is living too." When Derek said that my Beau speaker arrived, I told him that you made a big difference in my life. Then I sent him on the ship. By saying that you are present, he rescued me. After hearing this, Rose laughed. She says, "But I killed your Beau. He has passed away." After hearing this, Derek pushes him down the stairs. Then he grabs the gun and goes to kill him. When he arrived, he noticed that Rose was gone. When he came to see him, Rose leaves a chemical behind. When he lost his sanity, Rose had an opportunity, and she kills Derek with a knife. This was the knife that Derek gave him as a present. All the bad guys on the ship have been killed. Only Rose and the trapped girls are alive. Rose sets everyone free. These people notice that the ship is heading towards the port. Rose and everyone are very happy because they are secure. Once they arrive at the port, the cops take care of everything. The scene returns to the beginning of the movie. When Rose got hurt, someone was questioning her. Then Rose tells the story to a police officer. The police officer commends Rose for being brave. It says, "That's very good. You did great. Soon, all the girls will go home." Rose says she can't return home. "There's nothing for me there. I feel like my life has ended." The cop says this and then walks away. "You are very brave. You control your future. Your future. The reason you fought. Now you need to live for it." Hearing this, Rose feels brave. She chooses to move forward and once again improve her life. And that's the end of the show.